to SI plus student success group met and wanted to really look at our framework as well as the literacy framework and provide some input. And so they did share some helpful kind of thinking around especially the glossary term of identity. And so they had some thoughts about how to make it more expansive and inclusive. And so these were just some of the highlights from that feedback. They shared that it didn't mention specific identities, that multiple lenses would be helpful to include, that we had gender, but not gender identity and the fluidity of that, as well as addressing social interactions without defining or guiding on how these interactions are led by identity. So just, you'll see that in the newly revised definition, we've tried to incorporate some of that. So those were some of the things that they shared with us, and also this idea of intersectional, that they thought that would be really important to have a glossary term defining what that is, which you all had said as well. And so what has come out of that is an attempt to do that, and we've done that in partnership with our ODE Student Success Advisory Group coordinators. So thinking about identity in a more expansive lens. So that's what we'll share with you today. And then if we can move to the next slide. So these were just all the different draft updates since we last met, but more specifically on the right are just the more recent ones. So those are the pieces that we're going to now look at together and kind of check in on how we are responding to those pieces. And so I'm now going to invite all of you to hop on to our decision point and consensus check. And we've got some time set aside to look through these, and similar approach that we've taken all along the way. We're going to take each one on their own. And so it'll be helpful to have both the draft of the document in front of you, so that you can see what it looks like within the context of the framework and where things are nested. And we're going to look at this first item, which is broadening the SEL standards. So one really amazing piece of feedback, sometimes this happens when you're so in the thick of the woods, you can't see outside of it anymore. And so someone said, well, wait a minute, aren't those standards supposed to be flexible and nimble for adults and students? And like, yeah, that's right. So we here are proposing that instead of calling them the K through 12 student transformative SEL standards, that they're called the transformative SEL standards, so that they can be utilized across systems for adults, with adults, and in partnership with students. So that's the first piece that we're looking at. So we're going to give you 3 minutes, and I'm going to start the timer. And then similar to last time, you'll write your name on the left-hand side, and then on the right, what your number is. And just a reminder that if you're at a 2 or below, that means you're not, affirming that that's a move you want to make. Then what would you like to see included? What suggestions do you have?
Vanessa, we don't have edit access.
Oh, you'll need that. Okay, share. All right, try that. You may have to refresh beforehand. It's the anonymous pumpkin, otherwise known as Britta. Okay, I will start our timer now. Okay, looks like everyone has recorded their, there's my timer, has recorded their number, and we are at consensus on that. Yay! Awesome. So Beth, if you can just tally those up on the document, do you want me to read them through, or do you want me to move on?
I'm having trouble toggling because I'm screen sharing.
Oh, you're screen sharing. Oh,
Yeah,
that
I'm
makes it hard. Okay.
Sorry.
No
Let me
worries.
see if I can get it up. I'm also trying to, Selena wasn't able to open it, so I was trying to send her the email.
I
with the link.
gotcha.
I don't know if you might be able to link it again.
The link to the decision points?
Yes, if you could,
Yes.
please. Selena, can you let us know if you could open it? Thank
There
you.
it is. Okay.
Yes, for some reason it doesn't allow me open links in the chat, but if someone emails it to me, I can open it.
How weird.
I've tried to fix it and I've updated my browser and everything else.
All right. So I will send it to you via email. As we're thinking about our next item here, this is all comes from the section around adult SEL. So find a way to gather yourself to that component, which is component 3. And there are 2 pieces that were added to that section. So there's an element, a sub-element that's called prioritize adult well-being. And so some of the feedback we got is, you know, these SEL standards also can help with teacher burnout and compassion fatigue as an approach and as a way to really think about SEL well-being for adults. And so we've added that sentence. You can see it in blue. So in blue is anything that's new or different or that has been added. And we tried to just share what kinds of things, just to give an idea about what kinds of things this could look like in practice. So take a look at that one. And then there's also one around embedding T cells. So what happened was we got some feedback that it felt like it was too constraining to just professional development. So could we not also have transformative SEL practices or use the standards in different spaces outside of just professional development? Like, could it also live in site council meetings and how we do our professional learning communities and our PTA meetings? Like, it's a way to, right, harness different voices and be more inclusive and really center relationships. So that was the impetus for adding that piece of it. And then also changing that header to be embed transformative SEL standards and practices. So kind of step back and making it a bit broader and not just making it about professional learning. So take a look at those changes. And then I think we have 5 minutes for this one. So I'll set my timer and then, okay, looks like you're all are on it. Okay, we're also at time for this one. And this one also is at consensus, so we're all good to go with that piece. And thank you for those additional comments. That's really helpful just for our own learning and growing together. And as we think about toolkits and implementation resources and places to turn to, this is really important. So thank you for naming those pieces. All right, and then we're at our last one, which is the glossary terms. So what has been added are definitions for dysregulation, intersectionality, positionality, and regulation. So again, all of these terms are terms that surface in the standards themselves. And they all actually come from, can you guess which standard? One of them has them all. Standard 1. So they had they had a lot going on in their standard. And then some in standard 2 as well. So take a look at those, and then we're looking at all of these elements together. So there's the additional definitions we need your eyes on, and then also this adapted and clarified language from identity and identities. So those are the ones that we worked with the student coordinators. So take a look at that. And then it looks like there are also some additional suggested comments. So just weigh out all of those pieces as you think about those glossary terms supporting the standards. And this one, I'm thinking we'll have 7 minutes for this. And I'll start the timer now. All right. If you haven't already marked your score, please do so. And yay! Huzzah, this is awesome. So that means we're at consensus for every part, which means we actually can't do anything more to it. Which is a good place to me. That means that it's final. So congratulations on creating the first SEL framework and set of standards for the state of Oregon. Bravo, bravo, bravo. Yay. So that's awesome. We're basically at almost at time here, but we do have a couple more things to round out our time with each other. So I'm going to turn it over to Beth, who's going to lead us into our final check-in.
Well, I didn't want to leave without saying a big thank you to you all, because even though I've been in the background quite a bit, it's been wonderful to hear all your voices and you see what you've added to this process. So I'm also going to be sad that we're leaving, but I just wanted to say thank you, and that it's a very big celebration and then really exciting that you could see what it's like at the state level when we have to move something from legislation into practice into school. So thank you for being on this journey with us. And we wanted to end with an activity. So this is our last time that we meet, and we wanted to give you a chance to meet in your small groups, because this will be the last time that you all get to meet as well. And so we wanted you to revisit the first time that you wrote about your why. So this, if you remember way back, you all had added to this Jamboard slide. And so really tiny, you can see all your really big whys. And we appreciated hearing those and wanted you to be able to also in your groups have a chance to say goodbye to each other and share phone numbers if you want to do that. So we're going to give you about 5 minutes in your breakout rooms to go back and find your why, share whatever you want during that time, and then just discuss where you're seeing evidence of your why in our framework and our standards of where we landed now. So if you could think back to and find that, and then how is that showing up? Just give you the opportunity to share with each other. So we're going to send you into breakout rooms, and we'll see you back here in about 5 minutes.
Beth, it should be the same. So it should be by groups, by your own group. So you'll self-select like you've always done into your standard group or your framework group.
Yes, thank you. Yep, you'll see it in just a sec. Should pop up now for you. Vanessa, I see you're in the chat way back in October. Oh my gosh, it's been a while.
And Beth, did you say that we should see the breakout rooms?
Yeah, you should see in your bottom of your screens, it should say breakout room. Can you not see it at the bottom?
It's not on mine. Do others have it?
Something said waiting to be assigned.
Oh, really?
Wonder if you stop sharing screen, if it'll work. I'm not sure.
That. Let me try. Okay, hold on. Let me close all rooms. Let me go back in.
Okay, I think that worked. Do you see it?
Let me open all rooms. Okay, I'm opening again. Is it popping up? Still not. Kendra, I see you. No. Vanessa, do you think maybe since you're the host, would you be able to?
It says that it's open. So let me try to move you all in. I know you are designed to stay in the room, finish strong together. Yes, indeed. I'm going to try to remember. So Allie, you were framework. Annie, you were standard 1. Britta, you were framework. Chris, you were framework. Krishana, you were 4. Is that right? Yes, great. Clement, you were 4. Yep. Francesca, you were 2. Javier, you were 2. Yes. Jenny, you were 3. Wow, this is good memory for me. Kendra, framework, Christina, 5. Ricky, 2. Rose, 2. Oops. Moved into the wrong one, Rose.